How's everyone doing? My name is Colin Keating, and Leo and I are going to go over Chapter 40, and we're going to answer these two questions. Do NFL teams pass too much and go for it often enough on fourth down? So what I'm going to look at is, do NFL teams pass too much? And we're going to look into the brand new franchise of the Business Analyzers. They're the newest NFL team in town, and we are the head coaches, and we have to determine, should we pass or run the ball more? And in order to do so, we are going to look at the data and analyze it to determine whether passing or running gives us the most value to help us win as many games as possible. And that's our quarterback right there, Professor Huntley. So let's look at the percent of plays from scrimmage that are passing plays in 1978. So in that year, 44% of the time, they were throwing the ball. That means 56% of the time, they were running it. And that's why you see such value in running backs at that time. Like Walter Payton, he stacked up basically 17,000 yards and 125 touchdowns in his career. But as the game evolutionized and new rules were implemented that encourage more passing, you see from 1978 to 1987, a jump to 52% plays were passing. So that means basically half the time they were passing it, the other half they were running it. So as the game continues to evolve, we look at 2015 to 2019, it jumps to 59%. That means teams are throwing the ball more frequently. And the question is, should they keep going? Should they get higher than 60%? And we got to see what values passing gives us versus running. And that goes down to points per play. This breaks it down to points per play for pass and points per play for rush, and the difference between those two values. And looking at this chart, you can see that points per play for pass gives us basically a greater return than points per play for rush. You can see 0.12 is greater than 0.03. That means we're just getting a better return on passing the ball rather than running the ball. So we're head coaches. It's 1st and 10. Do we pass or run the ball? Looking at the information from 2017, 59% of the time, NFL teams ran on 1st and 10. Bring him back right now. But throwing the ball, actually passing average 0.12 more points per play than running it. So even though teams ran the ball close to 60% of the time, passing it on 1st and 10 actually gave you a better return on points per play than running the ball. Let's say we didn't pass the ball on 1st and 10. We actually ran it, didn't get much, and it is 2nd and long, meaning it is 7 or more yards away from getting a first down. The question is, again, do we pass or run the ball? And looking at that same information, teams went 50-50 on whether they passed or run the ball, meaning half the time they threw it, half the time they ran it. But looking at the passes actually average 0.3 more points per play than rushing the ball. So as business analyzers, we are going to pass the ball on 2nd and long. And to overall answer the question, should NFL teams pass more? Yes, they should. Just based off the information of points per play of the pass versus the run, it benefits us to pass the ball more. So that concludes my part of this presentation, and Leo is going to go into whether or not we should go for it on 4th down. Thank you.
Hey everyone, so the second topic the chapter talks about is whether or not NFL teams go for it often enough on 4th down. Recently, there's been a slight increase when going for it on 4th down and less than 3 yards, so that's 4 and 3, 4 and 2, and 4 and 1. In 2011, it was 27.5%, and by the end of 2018, it had increased 16.7%, leaving it at 44.2%. There's been some ESPN analysis, which also indicate that on 4th down and less than 3 yards to go, teams should definitely go for it unless they're inside their own 15-yard line. What this also means is that when you're 4th down and less than 3 yards to go on the opponent's 38, teams should also go for it. They should go for it for 2 basic reasons. So just a slight punt is maybe we'll give them 20 yards or less. And going for the field goal, assume you miss the field goal, you're going to be put in the same position if you fail to convert the first down anyway. And another thing is coaches also often choose to play it safe, and they take the less risky field goal or punt strategy because they believe a failed fourth down conversion may cost them their job. It's believed that coaches should more often ditch the field goal or punt and just go for the fourth down. Go for the first down. And so some data to back that up was in 2015, the Yale undergrad sports analytics group found that teams made 66% of first downs on all plays. So teams made the first down on 68% of all running plays, 58% on all passing plays, and 83% of all QB sneaks. What this proves is that distance does matter. Not all 4th-and-1 situations are equally. It's when it's 4th-and-1, teams can have anywhere between 1 and 71.99 inches to go for a first down. Even, a small distance of 0.21 inches makes a huge difference. It was found that teams went for it on 4th down with an average of 0.78 yards from the first, and when they didn't, there was an average of 0.99 inches were needed for the first down. So that just shows how, that little bit of 0.21 inches makes a huge difference on deciding whether or not your team can win or lose the game. So teams are likely to go for it so teams are less likely to go for it when more distance is needed and less likely to convert when more distance is needed. Teams converted the first down 82% of the time when it was 4th and inches, and only converted 55% of the time when it was a long 4th-and-1 situation. Knowing how much actual distance is needed for a first down is extremely important. It can determine the outcome of the game. We believe that NFL teams aren't, but they should go for it more often in 4th down situations. And some more data to back that up is with incorrect 4th down decisions, coaches cost their team an average of 0.14 wins over the regular season. Also, by not using accurate integer distances, coaches make incorrect fourth down decisions, costing the team twice as many wins per season. So that using accurate integer distances means like a 4th and 0.70 something instead of using a 4th-and-1 or 4th-and-2 or a 4th-and-3. So NFL teams should have the opportunity, and they do have the opportunity to score and win more if they do go for more times than not on 4th down situations. And when they go for it, they just need real accurate data to make the right decision or play for the team to win the game or to just cut the score a little bit less. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed.